What is my government? It is you in control of yourself. Such stands for reason why the only government is self-governance, and we've been deceived into an artificial, denatured external government controlling us. You must always ask, the government of whom? Of what? It's always about people, so it's theirs. But it isn't truly theirs, and that's where the illusion is found. As described in previous videos, this wordplay is everywhere, and it will and must be changed given the natural change moving toward freedom through education of natural law, looking particularly with some words I've spotted out to trick human psychology, such as state, naturalization, and law. When we associate words together, we create meaning. We create greater meaning. However, nature may be seen as truth in the case of the answer. It is something we seek as the answer to humanity's question. Question of what? Of questionable conditions. Thus, the flux of questions comes from the questionable, the unknowingness, the lack of morality, the lack of direction, the not knowing what will happen. We see this in today's world highlighting the importance of question, through which a message as recognition for problem to be spotted must then go through human perception, the messenger for diagnosis through way of knowledge, to be questioning such questionable circumstance, hence attracting an answer, but dependent on the knowledge source attraction, and that will either be nature as the root, to which comes self-government, natural law, true naturalization and being a change, we the people, as the state is the condition, or man as the symptom to which comes false government, man's law, denaturalization from nature, and statism to the illusion of being the change as the quote-unquote state which rules over lives, demanding denatured conditions by threat of violence with no inherent state of nature. The answer is the attraction, and it often always is anarchy, otherwise known as freedom. It is human desire for freedom for themselves by all means. Again, dependent on the knowledge to which comes the answer brings us to the duality of the attraction and the anarchy. The attraction can be either negative or positive, and the anarchy can be either internal or external. An example would include someone insecure of their own life by way of internal anarchy, with no care for nature or rights and morality thereof, therefore seeking freedom by way of controlling others, although it will never truly help them feel content by way of negative attraction. The opposite would include one who is in control of their own life, with knowledge of their own rights by recognizing and learning nature, thus manifesting the external anarchy of freedom for all by way of positive expression. It's choosing the force to feed, love or fear. So in short, the question of the world creates the question of the people. To attract by way of anarchy, whether it's freedom or chaos in seeking the answer, dependent on the source. Hence, nature is the answer tells us exactly what source the answer shall be. One may attempt to say man is the answer, however we are within nature, and indeed if man created problems, man can get rid of these problems. However, by way of understanding belonging, in that man depends on nature, and that nature provides solutions by way of health in all. Man is the answer, relies on nature as the answer, if the answer actually seeks natural law abidance, or in other words, understanding consequences to behavior for knowing right versus wrong, as to what to do and what not to do. Otherwise, the answer isn't direct. It is lost and confused and ungrounded. Man without nature is seeking his own extinction. You wouldn't survive a week in the woods without having to learn from your resources at hand, both the good and bad, to know what to do, how to do it, and become most efficient and effective over time. Nature is the ultimate teacher, physician, and governor, as quoted, and to be said many times more for a world so detached from reality as to not know themselves or how the world works in the way that it does and always has. However, that lacking of knowledge is crucial to stay in place for the denatured power systems that be, feeding on the ego, the opinion, the science, the religion, the government, the archon-like, fear-based energy. The fact that wrongdoing is natural provides no need for government, only need for education about understanding nature. Wrong is here for good, just as good is here to know wrong. We ultimately always feel it. So if you only take an analytical approach, you may not understand the full dynamic. One shall always do their best to do good. Awareness to experience, intuition and ambition, conversion and regeneration, integration and so forth, all the terms that I've coined to describe the same processes in nature in different ways for different perspectives upon all same reality. And all same reality, if we are to now put our frame of mind into that of a worldwide movement of healing the world, let's see it as if we are healing the body. We must diagnose, by way of knowledge, the manifestation of harm, the disease. We learn by way of response or feedback, as is law. We must seek the root cause, the lack of self-control, and the influence of control and what takes control. We must crowd out the bad by adding in the good for the essential workings, hence law, but identifying both objectively for how they affect the whole, that is health. We must act as good gut bacteria, as previously detailed, therefore working with what comes in and what is in, hence going back to the message to mission, or question to answer, microcosmic to macrocosmic, and in reverse henceforth. We must take control of our own life, but not others within, for optimal living, to then also help guide others from where they are at to be their own best too. We must realize numbers by way of recognition of intended action is essential for a great change, and the list goes on, so that the workings of natural laws, like the anatomy of the body, government just as being the illusion of any restrictive diet to control nature instead of work with it. As again, your diet is your life. What you eat by its nature, it is unique compared to everyone else. What is called bio-individual, even if you try to get everyone else to eat the same way. It's an impossibility that some cast onto others as quote-unquote righteous, yet it's an illusion of one's own innate diet. To share this is just an offering, a display for what is, in a world which won't show you otherwise. And that's all we need to do for the truth to manifest in order to reduce harm done by the mass learning curve from nature and society. It's simple education and representation. Let us do so with a movement, the very nature of which is to promote ideas. And this is as ever rooted as it can be. This is prevention of the biggest disease ever known to man. It is statism. Truth profits on the fruits of labor, of nature. Nature's at work, giving to or giving back and getting from, striving, reward. You, just as your body, must work with the questions, as all words here are, but I ask you of one thing, and that is to ask yourself, your body, the world, what works with the answers that are all everywhere? It's been said, when are we done?